Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to take a look at how to set up your WPL dual speed so that, the gear change is perfect every time. And there's a few tips and tricks just to take note of, and you'll be able to utilize both high and low gear without any issues. So let's cut it open and crack on. I will also be adding chapters to this video so you can skip straight to the part that you need and get this issue solved as quick as possible. Inside the package, you will get the dual speed unit. You will get your 9G servo for changing gear, and also the hardware needed. Just going to quickly wipe over everything as it's covered in some sort of silicone or grease. Pretty slippery. Just give it a wipe, get all the excess grease off. So it just makes handling it a little bit easier. First step we'll have to do, I know it seems obvious, we're going to have to solder a motor cable to the motor. If we take a look at the tabs here, one's slightly bent. What I like to do, I like to make these as straight as possible so it makes soldering a little bit easier. So I get some pliers and I just give them a squeeze just to straighten them out like so. There we go. I've got my iron heating up. It doesn't have to be anything special for this sort of job. This is an old one that my dad gave me. And we've got that heated up, and the biggest tip I can give when soldering is to add a little bit of solder to the iron, like so. And what I'll do is instantly transfer. So first of all, we're going to tin up the connectors. So just hold your little blob that you've put on your iron underneath, and then, sorry, it's a bit shaky here, guys. And then just feed the solder on. And like I said, it will transfer the heat instantly. No holding it there and waiting for it to heat up, and chances of damaging the brushes in the motor. You want to be as quick as possible. So you have it, tinned up connectors. The wire comes pre-tinned, and we still got that little blob of solder there on the iron. It is just simply a case of getting your wire. I like to do black to red and red to black. So when I plug this into the Res 3 with the positive up, the motor actually spins the right way. So it's a simple case now of putting your wire on top and using that little blob of solder there to make a connection, and just touch it as quick as that. I'm going to flip this over, a little bit more tin. And just like that, we have the motor wire connected. As easy as that, guys. The next step is to center your servo. So my advice is, before attaching this and attaching your horn, to plug it into the electronics and make sure that it's centered. So that's what we're going to do. The gear shift servo goes on the bottom 3 pins, and it is a horizontal orientation with the pins facing down, like so. So you guys have a look at that, just in case. If you plug this vertically, it's going to start blowing something up in the board. But follow the diagram, and that is where your gear change servo goes. Another little tip, I like to remove the little jumper from the car 1, car 2 port, and I like to use that, as you can see there, as the on and off switch. I'm going to put the power in. Make sure that you get the polarity correct on this. Positive facing the top, like so. And then we're going to give it some power, and what that'll do is center the servo. As I plug this battery in, because I've got that jumper in, the power it'll turn on immediately. I don't know if you heard that, but the gear change servo just aligned itself. As soon as you power this on, you will hear the gear change servo make a noise, and that will pretty much center itself. Then when you install it, then it's not going to be out of line, and it's going to swing out of control in one direction and actually snap some gears. So next thing to do is to get the servo horn attached and make sure that that is aligned correctly. This is the servo horn that we're going to be using, the little teardrop one. And I'm going to place it on. The servo will be in this position, and we're looking for 6 o'clock high gear, 9 o'clock low gear. So I'm going to put it on. I'm going to push the button, and if it goes backwards, then we're going to need to flip it. There we go. That's perfect. If for instance you put it there and you push the button and it goes backwards, all you need to do is just realign it and make sure it's going the right way, like so. Secure that with the smallest screw in the bag, a little black one. There you go. Servo horn secured. Next is to mount the servo to the gearbox. We're going to use the two number 2 screws to secure the servo to the mount there. This black piece here, you can rotate this, and you can also move it up and down the shaft, which is what we're going to be looking at closely when it comes to getting that perfect gear change. If this is out of position, then it's going to cause a lot of problems. So just pull that out of the way so you can easily get your little servo mounted up. Also unplug the servo from the board so it's a little bit easier to get it installed, and you're not going to be tugging on any wires. And just like that, the servo is mounted. Now this next bit is the crucial bit. So I've got everything wired up, and because we have centered this servo horn, when I plug the power in, that's where it's stayed, which is what we want. What I'm going to do is change it to the 9 o'clock position for high gear, and we're going to use this now to calibrate the gear change mechanism. So this black piece here, as you can see, with it folded up and pushed in as far as it goes, to make sure it's in as far as possible, push the shaft and give it a little bit of gas, and that will pop in. So as we can see there, with that as far as it goes, get a bit of this servo horn seems too long, but what we can do, this black piece on the shaft, we can actually slide it up and down. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle and it will move. And what I like to do is, it's in first gear, I've obviously give it a bit of gas to click it in and engage first. So whilst keeping pressure on this shaft, sorry if you can't see, I'm going to wiggle this up to meet the 9 o'clock position. So if we give that a change now, as you can see, it popped out there into second. There's plenty of room for it to move back, so second gear is engaging as well. Got a little bit of flex on the servo, and once we give it some gas, that'll click straight. Sometimes you could have this piece too far up, so even when you click it into first, there's still some flex in the servo, and as a result, when you go in high gear, there's not enough room for that to click out. So all you pretty much do is adjust this black piece accordingly. So if it was still flexing, there's this tiny bit of flex there. I don't know if you can see that, it's not perfectly straight. All we do is just move this black piece to take away that flex, and that's going to give it the perfect amount of room then to be able to pop out back into second. Okay, so now there's no flex in that servo. First gear engages nice, and when you click it out, then there's plenty of room there for it to change to second. But yeah guys, it's pretty simple when you know how. This is probably my 5th or 6th gearbox now, and I've learned this along the way. But this black piece here, you can adjust it. So change it to the 9 o'clock position whilst poking it in. Adjust accordingly to either pull it up to meet or push it away, obviously, if it's too close. And this will make your dual speed experience a lot more pleasurable. And just a quick one, guys. I hope it helps. If it does help, check out the links in the description below. You can buy me a beer, not a coffee. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next one.